Okay, so we're going to do a wee bit of top 5 here. We're going to talk about the top 5 rivalries in MMA history. So, who's on your list then, Keelan?
On my list then, so I'll come across here as like a fucking McGregor fanboy here, because his probably, of the top 5, he'll probably have right lock him. Just because these are, like I said, I'm no one's fanboy lad, but these are the fights and the fighters that would get me interested. Do you mean I personally like the shit talking myself.
Oh man, I'm all about it. All about it.
It makes me train hard. I like to be involved in that. You know what I mean? It brings more attention to it, and then there's like more of more of an energy on fight night when you're in the cage and stuff, and the crowd knows the shit like that. So I like that. I'd say the number one you'd have to say would be McGregor and Khabib, probably.
McGregor, Khabib. Okay.
That I've seen recently. It was just because it was so big, and there was so much. Khabib genuinely hated him.
There's hatred there.
There's no you can always tell it's fake.
Yeah.
You can always if a Chael Sonnen or something was on the mic, like who I think is the fuck. I still watch Chael Sonnen's interviews, like, you know,
I watched loads.
But you could see that it was fake, but it was still funny. But that was clear hatred, and Khabib's not about that. He's not in this to sell pay-per-views. And as soon as it was over and he seen that fucking belly and Dylan Danis, he jumped the cage and goes at him.
Class.
Do you know what I mean? That was lethal. I love that because I like real fighters, so that was cool.
Yeah,
I'd say that was number one.
My number one it's actually the one that got me into the sport was McGregor Aldo. The build up for that.
That would definitely my top 5.
That was
so sick.
The thing was as well, like McGregor on his rise, he had so many quotables coming out of his beef with Aldo. It's just that's what got me into the sport.
Sick, lad.
And yeah, that's my number one rivalry. And just the finish.
Do you know the only thing I didn't like about that?
Do
you mind they done like a world tour?
Aye. And
they went to Dublin.
Yeah.
It was obviously sick and all. I just didn't like the way the Irish were talking to Aldo that night.
Why were they giving him?
They were just a bit. I thought some people there's obviously some lads were on the pints and that, so they were a bit drunk. But I just thought, like, he's been a world champion for 10 years. He'd done so much in the sport. You could show the man. I thought a bit of. But obviously, it's just part of the sport, so fuck it. But that was sick. That would definitely be my top 5 too. Yeah. And then the way he won was fucking insane.
Okay. Do you have any idea who's number 2 then on your list?
Probably go Jones Cormier.
100%. That's in my top 5 as well.
Off the top of my head, that was just so high level. And John Jones is just just a bad person, but a deadly fighter.
Oh, he's so. I hate him. I really. I don't like.
I love his confidence, lad.
He's so good.
He's so good. I
just hate. He's so two-faced. He's like all about praying to God, and then he's all sniffing coke.
Oh, that's a load of shit, that.
Fuck off.
You're just like, lad, take a line of gear and stop talking with God. Do you know what I say with John Jones? The only thing that I could... John Jones literally looks at the second best fighter, like the second best fighter in the world he'll fight, and he'll say, I'm going to beat you, John. And he'll literally look at that man the way I'd look at somebody who's untrained at the time I'm going to beat him and be like, oh, lad, you will lie. So his respect, his confidence is just unbelievable. Yeah, and he's got the skill set to back that up. Like he's unbelievable. His win over DC was because DC himself is so high level. I was saying there about his single leg. So like to beat him and then to beat him twice and like to call the fucking finish like 3 years something before. Do you remember that?
Yeah, innit? It just
mad that.
He yeah. Like the fact that he went in and DC was trying the whole fight, couldn't take him down, then he was taking DC down. It was just he just beats boys at what they're good at, which is
that's literally it. It's insane. He smokes Adesanya if I fight, I think. Do you think he wins?
Do you reckon?
Do you think he wins?
I think he's too big for him.
That's it, lad.
And I think he'll just I think Adesanya would be pushing to get the 205. But
he weighs in like 183 and shit.
Yeah,
I just think I know he's clearly improving every day, and he's got a world class coach in Eugene Barn, but I've seen him get taken down by like Vittori and Wilkinson. Obviously, he is better from them.
Yeah,
But I just think John Jones, I honestly could see it being something the way he finished Gustafsson, and I could see it be something at the second time, and I could see it being pretty quick.
Fair enough.
I'd say that's number 2 on my list. I'm in DC.
I'm at number 2. We were talking about him before. I've got Chael Sonnen versus Anderson Silva in there. I love that. I wasn't even a fan.
I wish he had won a belt. I wish he had won the belt.
You know what made it even better? Him going around with the belt after saying, I thought that if you tapped out, he only won the round. So I won 4 rounds to 1. Mate, I wasn't even a fan of the time.
Insane.
Watching it all on YouTube. He's class.
I still watch him. But you couldn't watch him fight the way he fights. But the way he goes on, you don't beat a man for 25 minutes. They wrap his head around your neck and her legs around your neck, and they're the winner. He goes, in the streets of Western Oregon, that's not how we roll. he's an animal. Do you hear him talking about the guy next door? He's it's like a real American thing about how hard they had the upbringing and stuff like that there. He starts mocking them about like coming up in Western Oregon, no?
Yeah.
He's like, my neighbor had to share a Porsche like out there.
Yeah.
It's just very funny.
Mate,
that's the way I like
it.
Unbelievable. Do you ever see the one? Like, I can name him up. I literally watched him the other night. The one where he's getting introduced by DC. He's just hilarious.
You see that one
funny,
that he did versus Tito there at the press conference?
We slide his wife.
The only person I know to make money with their mouth is Tito's ex-wife.
I was just going to see her. They don't call you the bad guy for nothing. No, he's a funny bastard. But I it's put on, but it's fucking lethal. I actually seen a video on him where he got like really, he does now like his own wee snippets and videos and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of fighters like who do you want to fight next? Like, I don't care, I'll fight anyone. Yeah. He actually got literally cross in the video. He was like, if you don't care, how the fuck do you expect me to care? Like out there. So he was very smart, like business wise. Switched on that way.
There's a lot of talk, but he could be like that sort of replacement for Dana, I reckon. He could be
100%.
Perfect fit.
That's actually true. I could.
100%. Okay. Then who do you thinking for number 3?
One DC, one thing. McGregor Nate then probably for me 3.
Yeah.
The rivalry at the time. I can only speak from when I've like the last 7, 8 when I've been in it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was I just remember that at the time. I remember the build up that fight and that night stuff. It was a deadly buzz.
That first Nate fight. So I had just got into McGregor for the Aldo fight. Like I literally had just got into MMA, and he starched him in 14 seconds or something, and I was like, oh
yeah,
that's a bit of.
He was wild bad in the first Diaz fight.
And then I stayed up for the Diaz fight by myself. Fell asleep, woke up, and it was all the adverts. And I was like, oh shit, I've passed it, rewind it, and hit, wasn't looking at the screen, so I couldn't see anything. Just hit pause and around the moment. And it was fucking literally Bruce Buffer announcing Nate Diaz as the winner. And I was like, oh my God, I missed the whole thing.
Fuck's sake. He was poor that night. He was very poor that night. Not his gas tank, he became very complacent in his camp. He thought in his own head that he couldn't lose. Something that you always see at Prince Nazim at a time. If you think there's being, like I said earlier, I had not a stupid argument, but I have like a measured confidence.
Yeah.
You can't think you're unbeatable because you will lose. He thought Diaz, he came in, he's doing like jumping on rings and stuff, hardly sparring, not training hard, eating incorrect foods, just mentally complacent. Thought he had to show up. I've been there, an amateur, I lost because of that exact, not like that. Not that I thought it was something, but I didn't. I thought I wasn't going to lose.
Yeah, do you reckon?
Overlooked him.
Do you reckon that McGregor versus Eddie Alvarez is? I personally think that's the best fight of the UFC scene. I genuinely don't see any. I think he'd beat Khabib. That McGregor versus Alvarez is just. It was a fun lad. I actually would say that there. It was a phenomenal performance, but I think if Khabib had been champion here, he never would have been a double champion. You think he would have won? See, that same night McGregor fought Michael Johnson, and he got punched in the face. He literally got a punch in the face, and Joe Rogan starts going, he's rocked. Yeah.
But he wasn't fucking rocked.
No.
But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I think. I don't think Khabib would have lost it like that.
I think McGregor did well against him. Well, he didn't do well. He got beat up, but he did a lot better than what some boys have done. Like, he did a lot better than Barbosa and those boys.
Won around, didn't he?
And like you said, but he's getting on. Like, that was prime McGregor, like cokehead, binge drinking, all that. Like,
I know, lad.
He was wild for it. So
yeah,
he would just, I don't know. I think he'd beat Khabib's closest fight.
100%. I still think he's the clear number 2 at lightweight.
Yeah.
But I just think Khabib's a bit different.
Well, at number 3, I had Jones and DC. So yeah, it's a great rivalry, but we've already touched on it. Number 4 then.
Jeez, I'm out of my mind. Give me one. I said Jones DC. Jones DC. Well, I probably would have went fucking McGregor. Cody Garbrandt TJ was good.
That was a good build up, wasn't it? The whole
that was good. That was good, right? Probably because it was my weight class too.
A lot of interest.
And I just didn't like the way TJ. Like I'll be with Cowboy now till I'm done because they've helped me a lot.
Yeah.
It's helped me a lot, and that you just don't bite the hand that feeds you, is it? Like for him to lose was a bit, or for him to not just leave, but like the
just ditch. The
build up was good. The Ultimate Fighter always makes it good too, doesn't it? When they're in the same Ultimate Fighter series.
100%. Well, at my number 4, I've got a lot of people hate him. I love him. I've just got Colby versus all the welterweights.
I like Colby.
He's just such a dick, and his trash talk's so like stupid and shit. But
it's so dumb.
I think he cracks me up.
Yeah, this morning we were watching, like we were doing cage technique, grappling then, and before we went down, me and Taylor were watching Kobe versus Dos Anjos, just studying him and seeing like it's just the mindset that he goes in. It's actually a time you should watch it at. It is fucking lethal. He kicks Dos Anjos in the balls, right, which is dirty enough, but it was just a wee flick of the balls. Yeah. But Dos Anjos really milks it, you know. So he starts turning around to the crowd. He starts going like a breaking symbol. You're breaking. He looks at Dos Anjos, goes, "You're breaking." He's breaking him mentally. So I love Kobe's mindset in the cage. He is a bit of an idiot outside the cage, but I don't mind that. But in the cage, his wrestling's phenomenal.
Do you think
he doesn't stop?
He does just mentally break people whenever they're in there. And whenever it's wrestling, it's a bit of a weird one. Like, it's hard to explain that you get so tired and fatigued to the point where, like, it's almost better to just hold the position and get punched in the face than try to get out of the position because you're just too exhausted. It's a hard position for non-fighters to even comprehend.
That is the sport of wrestling. Who breaks first?
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's the game. It's if you watch Elite, it's who breaks in the scramble first, and then you just keep going. He's a fucking animal. I'd like to see him rematch Usman because it was two wrestlers striking. They're not good strikers, but it's pure striking. When he can mix up the takedown, he will land punches on you 100%. But it's pure striking. They're not good strikers. So I'd like to see him fight Usman and go to the wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think he beats Masvidal. If you watch him train on YouTube, he does beat Masvidal.
Oh, that video of them just wrestling in the house.
Fucks him.
He just
literally fucks him.
That's for me.
On the gym,
But that's a fight. If they booked that, I'd love to see the build up for that.
I think they're doing the Ultimate Fighter. They're not, no.
Oh, that would be.
Is that not a thing? No. I thought that was. Maybe it's not even nice. I don't even know. But I know that'd be good. I that's why over lockdown I got really into Kobe and watching his fight stuff because we were doing so much wrestling and breaking your opponent mentally. So he was the guy I was watching and studying a lot over lockdown.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, 100%. And then, do you have any other rivalry to finish off your top 5 just in mind?
I'd probably go Chael and Tito.
Chael and Tito, yeah.
But you already mentioned it, but that probably would have been my 5th one.
I'll trash talking just back and forth.
Well, Tito Ortiz is the worst trash talker ever. He is a fucking weirdo.
It's that in that press conference, and Tito's talking about the coyote, and Chael's just.
I said, tell another coyote story. But it's like he was just like someone who was in the UFC at the top for like 15 years, something like same as Luke Rockhold, and just never got comfortable in front of the camera. It's like every time he talks, it's like he thinks in his own head, why the fuck did I just say that?
But to be fair, he had one of the best like celebrations in the sport. Just getting the shovel out and digging the grave. I thought that was pretty cool. Well, he's actually in my number 5 spot. Him versus Chuck.
The third one shouldn't have happened though, shouldn't it?
The third one shouldn't have.
That's Oscar De La Hoya's a bellend.
Yeah. Well, that's just boys trying to make money off the old boys, like Tyson.
Exactly. It's not right. But I was obviously sick at the time.
But like that's why me being like you're a fighter and a fan and you're watching it for the sport. But like I love going back on. Yeah, exactly. But I love just going back and watching all the old build-ups and all that sort of stuff.
Lad, same as that.
Yeah.
I like that shit too. It makes fights more interesting. It just makes say even myself, if I get like in a bit of a shit talking on the way up, I just go into the cage and it's just more of a, I don't know, it's the energy's different on fight night. The whole crowd's like, it's just more, I don't know, it just makes MMA better, I think.
Well, if you actually want to, if you take notice of someone because of their talking, then you'll see them in the fight, you'll cheer them on. The talking before the fight builds everything.
100%, Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So that finishes off the top 5 list. Lad, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for giving me your time.
Always, lad. All the best.
All right. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Yeah.